Hey guys, this is Jonathan Guzman. I just want to give you a little information about my testimony. I grew up in the church, got saved when I was like 8 years old, but then I fell away. I started falling away when I was in my teens and everything. One of the defining moments when this really began was around 14. I had behavioral problems in school, nothing major, I was just struggling in school and everything. So my mom starts taking me to a psychologist, and the psychologist recommends a mental health drug called Prozac, which is a serotonin uptake inhibitor. And that began my fall, my descent into madness, because I didn't really need the medication. I didn't need it at all. It would mess up my mind. It made me crazy. That's what these things do. They're terrible. And so I can tell you I lost from 14 all the way to my early 30s. I lost all that time. It was crazy. It caused me. I was on Prozac, and then I was on Risperidol. I was on Zoloft. All types of crazy stuff. And essentially, what would happen is I would just go on these fits of insanity because I didn't need that medication. It was just the medications pushed by the pharmaceutical companies for money, which is sad, but that's neither here nor there. Just talk about what happened with me. And I kept going through different things, like I flunked out of college, and I ballooned up. I was an average sized person, like only, I was 5'11", 160. Started taking that stuff. I went up to 400 pounds, almost 400 pounds, like 370 I think was my heaviest. And I literally I stopped taking them in my mid-20s. I stopped taking them, and I decided, well, I'll stop taking them. I'll just try to join the military, because I had flunked out of college because the mental health drugs was really screwing with my mind. I couldn't focus, and I literally just lost my opportunity with college. So I pretty much lost 170 pounds in 6 months, through exercise and, pumping hard iron and everything. Got down to 200 pounds, went to join the military, got into MEPS and everything. The medication gave me diabetes. So I was unable to join the military. Now, before that, I was trying to go back to church and everything, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be going to church, and I'm going to go do this God thing. And the pastor of the church I was going to stole the treasury and left. So I was like, man, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this no more. But then after the military thing failing, I was just pretty much devastated, and I just kept going on and off, not doing well. I remember taking a world religion class in college, and I was like, okay, well, so I started looking into other religions. Nothing really came of any of that. And I remember I was missing something. I was still on those drugs, still tormented by them, but I thought I was missing something. So I remember, I think in 2010, I converted to Catholicism. That took 2 years. Started in 2010, and I became a Catholic, and the rote memorization of Hail Mary, the Lord's Prayer, and a few other things, and I would just recite them, not really understand it, just reciting them. It's kind of like some meditation ritual, and didn't really do anything for me. But I tried to be devout. I went to mass every week, not every week, but every day. For like 6 months, I would just go to mass every day because they had church every day. So I'd go 5:30 in the morning to mass and try to pray and understand what's up with God. But I eventually just got tired of it, and the drugs just took over again, and I just didn't want to do nothing. I felt empty and everything. And then my dad was going to this one church, and he said, hey, why don't you come to my church? And I said, okay, well, Dad, I'm not really into doing that anymore. I'm kind of done with church. He said, well, just come to this one. So I did. And I remember this guy coming up to me This really awesome guy. His name's Frank, and he gave me a hug, and I was put off by that because, you know, I'm just a very standoff person. And but you know, so I went there a couple times and stopped going because I was done. And my dad called me again, said, "Hey, I want to meet you. I want you to meet this guy. His name's Sean, and he's a really good guy." So I met with him, talked with him a little bit, and kind of hit it off. We're cool, but just through the torment of all the medication and stuff, I sent him a message saying, "Hey, I'm not coming back, man. I'm just gonna go to the Greek Orthodox Church. See you later." And that was it. Went to the Greek Orthodox Church for a little while, and I finally just said, "Man, I'm not taking this medication crap anymore." I just said, "No, I'm not gonna take it anymore." So I stopped, and that's when the real torment happened, because I was, you know, some people don't believe in this, others do. I was tormented by a devil, a demon. Depression was real, and it kept making me want to go back and take medication. And I said, "No, I'm not going to do it," because at least the medication, I wasn't sad, I wasn't happy, I was, you know, emotionally dead. And I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." But I was just kept being oppressed and oppressed and oppressed. Eventually, I you know, went back to my dad's church, and then that guy Frank came up to me, said, "Hey man, you need to come on Saturday to the living room thing." I'm like, "What's that?" And he just said, "It's a get together, and you know, Sean's gonna be there, you know, teaching." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll go," you know. And then that's the journey that started in 2014, June of 2014. I remember I had resigned from my current job to get a different one, and so I was starting everything pretty much fresh. And so I started giving this Jesus thing another shot, you know. So I volunteered with the living room, setting up chairs, doing things. But this guy Sean, he didn't give up on me. Neither did his wife, and neither did the other people there. They were real, genuine people, and I started seeing that. And Frank was there, and he was helping me, you know, go through all this stuff. And so I was like, okay. And I've had some serious ups and downs, because I was like, you know, I tried to get a better job, like at the post office, and it didn't work out, and I was devastated on that. It was sucking. So I kept just going up and down, up and down, up and down, like nothing, man. But I knew there was something there, you know. I was still struggling. I was still fighting what God wanted from me, and what he, you know, and all he wanted from me was me. But I thought, like, because of all these things, I thought like I had to like say a special prayer, do a mathematical formula. And you know, I had been hurt so many times in the past by church stuff, man. Like one pastor he you know, stole the entire treasury and left. And then when I was younger, this other guy, you know, called me a Nazi. And, you know, I'm a Hispanic guy. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And this guy was a pastor of a church, and said I'm going to go to hell and all this other stuff. I'm like, for playing D&D, you know. These people, though, that I went and saw, they weren't like that. They showed me the love of Christ, but I still was struggling, man. I was still struggling, and that demon was tormenting my mind on a daily basis. And a year later, in 2015, I was like, I had been off the medication for about a year and a half, almost 2 years at that point. And like I had a gun, you know, and I thought about just blowing my brains out. But you know, Monday night we had prayer, with Sean, his wife Christina, and his children, which they were like, one of them was a teenager, the other two were like 9 or 10, I think, but they were good kids. But I talked to Sean outside. I said, "Hey man, can you hold this?" And I gave him my gun. I was like, "Man, can you hold this gun, dude? Because I was gonna kill myself if I decided I'd come up here one more time." And he told me about, like, "I feel that you're being demonically oppressed." And I said, "Well, I need prayer about this." And then so his son Johnny prayed for me, and the demon left. and never came back. Then I knew God was real. At that point, that demon left and never came back. I've never been depressed since then. That was in 2015. It's 2018 now. Very a powerful effect. That kid Johnny cast that demon out, and I won't forget that. You know, that's what God did for me. And so now we're at 2018. You know, I still did the living room thing. I still go to that church. I still have up and downs, like anybody who tries to be a Christian. Part of my up and downs were just jobs, trying to find a job, and, you know, dealing with different things because, you know, I lost so much time. But God basically said, I redeemed the time. You know, He's God. He does whatever he does whatever He wants, and He can do anything. No one can stop Him. No man, no beast, no nothing can stop Him. No devil, nothing. And that's what I think a lot of people need to realize. I'm gonna tell you, man. Like, all God wants from you is you. And then you can go find the next step. And that's basically what happened with me. That's why I'm here. I'm talking about it because I want people to know. God commands me to tell people, so I do. And but yeah, like, I met a lot of cool people, you know, a lot of good Christian people. And I just want to let you know that, you know, real Christians care about you regardless of what you do. You know, they want you to become a Christian and do a Christian life, but, you know, real Christians won't let someone be hungry. Real Christians won't let someone go in the cold without a coat, you know. And this is what these people did for me. And it's one of the best things I've ever happened in my entire life is this. And then I remember, because the church has a community outreach on Halloween called Lord of the Harvest, and so I would go help, you know, with some of the amusement things that we do, like, you know, cornhole or throw a football through a net or something, you know, for the kids to do, and then they get candy and stuff instead of going trick-or-treating. And so it's a community outreach near the church. And I remember this one dude I'd never met in my entire life. He came up and said, look, God's going to use you for something good. And I was like, man, you're high, because I was still struggling with all that stuff. And but now I see why. And if God's calling you to do something, these are for people who are saved. If God's calling you to do something, just do it. You know, He'll make everything else work. Just do it. And I'm gonna tell you, God delivered me from the dumps. God delivered me from the demonic oppression. God delivered me from the mental health drugs. And God has shown me His mercy. So, by all accounts, as a Christian, I have to show mercy to others. Because one of the other things I struggled with for a very long time is having mercy on people. Especially the people in the pharmaceutical industry. Because I know, you know, there's a lot of them that are bad. And they're all about the money. They're all about, like, okay, let's push these mental health pills. Let's do that, you know. And I was like, you know, for the longest time, I had a lot of respect. When I was falling away, I had a lot of respect for Vlad the Impaler because of what he did to the corruption in his country. I said, this needs to happen to those guys. They think they're untouchable. If I could be a king, that's what I would do. I would kill them all. And that's not what God says. Because, you know, in the book of James, it says, you know, if those who show no mercy will be shown no mercy. It's an ongoing process for me, but I thank God that He has mercy on me. And I just want to let you know, like, if you're listening to this, that you may have gone through a lot of bad stuff in your life, but God can redeem that time. God has mercy on you. And God just wants you to be in His kingdom. So make that step, make that choice. It's worth it, man. It's worth it. Even if you have nothing in this world, in the end, it's worth it. It may not seem like it right now, but it's worth it. I fully 100% believe in that. And I hope this message touches you. My testimony, it's more of abbreviated. It could go a lot longer, but the main points have been discussed. I just want you to go in the peace of Jesus Christ. And I hope you pay attention more to the channel. I'll be putting up more stuff. Thanks.